Hello and welcome to a heavy-hitting comparison between the Summit, Duo, and Zen Gold Label. These are three very good, strong symmetric balls that have all been released recently, one from each of the three SPI brands, and they can make for a tough decision when it comes to narrowing down choices for that zone in your bag. There is a fair amount of overlap. I don't know that you need all three of them, but two of the three could coexist and complement each other quite well. Before we get started, big shout out and thanks as always to Royal Crest Lanes. They're a big part of bringing these videos to you. All it takes is a text and we have everything we need. Also, my code Rosdahl10 will get you 10% off your order at checkout at CoolWick, and if you check the description, you'll find a bunch of helpful links and information, including our personal specs and a link to buy each of these balls at Mart. I do receive a 5% commission on all sales through the links. Let's start with comparing the numbers. The Roto Grip Duo released first. The Mentor core is based off the Madcap core from the Daredevil series, and it comes in at a 249 RG and an 046 differential in 15 pounds. The Summit was next. The Centripetal HD core is the same as from the Sonic and Supersonic, but is amplified by the new AI outer core, which increases the strength of the core. The core numbers there are a 246 RG and an 056 differential in 15 pounds. The Zen Gold Label is the latest release using the same Meditate core from the other Zen releases, outside of the Zen U of course, and it comes in at a 249 RG and an 051 differential. The Summit has the strongest core overall, the Gold Label is next, and they feel somewhat familiar. Strong but not necessarily heavy rolling, but they exert a lot of strength and a lot of lane control. The Duo is a small step down as far as the core strength, or more the strength of the roll. It's very stable and consistent, but is easier down the lane than the other two balls, or the core doesn't make the ball want to start up as early. Looking at the cover difference, the Duo features the Microtrax Pearl cover from the Exotic Gem. Microtrax is very closely related to Storm's NRG that we've seen on the Physics and IQ Tornado Pearl most notably, and is a medium strength cover with a perfect blend of traction and response. The Summit features TX23 Hybrid, which is an evolution of the TX16 formula from the Phase 2. Storm hasn't placed the cover on their strength chart yet, so we don't know where it lands technically. However, they have said the Summit is their strongest symmetric ball to date, so it's got to be up there pretty high. Finally, the Gold Label features the new Reserve Blend 801 Pearl, which I think bears an uncanny resemblance to Storm's REX cover, which we've seen a lot of over the last year and a half on balls like the Infinite Physics, Fate, and Night Road. I would expect that the Duo has the weakest of the three covers, and even if Reserve Blend 801 is technically cleaner and more responsive than TX23, it's very close on actual strength or traction. Now let's go the lanes and see what this nonsense means. I see the Summit as the earliest and smoothest, the Duo is the longest and sharpest, and the Gold Label is almost like a blend of the two. The Summit wants to roll the earliest for sure, and while it has a firm move on the back end, I feel like it's also the most controllable. That's a little hard for me to say because the Gold Label is just absolutely an eyelash behind it. The Duo and Gold Label I think are equally versatile, the amount of tricks you can make them do is immeasurable. The Summit, however, is not terribly far behind them. The difference I think lies in the application, what they're best at, and where I see them fitting the best. The Summit is a lane control monster, much in the vein of the TNT. It's going to exert its will and really control the lane, all it needs is a decent amount of oil. It's a very easy ball to get to the pocket. The big pro for the Summit is that control, that dominant heavy roll. The con is that it needs oil and it's fairly smooth, so you're going to get the occasional flat corner, and it's not going to be in play on everything. However, of course, when you're on tough conditions, hitting the pocket comes first, and then you try to get the carry worked out from there. If you can't consistently stay in the pocket, carry, of course, doesn't really matter. It's best when you need traction and pocket control. It's very much in the vein of the original Idol. The Duo is slightly response dominant, but with the core stability and still competitive level of traction, it's at its best when you get into transition, have a little bit of room to work with, or need a Summit type of look that adjusts the shape a little. The bigger positive for the Duo is the versatility of shape. You can get it to stop and go forward, or get it to chase the opposite corner pin off the deck. If it was just a more singular shape like the Summit and Gold Label, it wouldn't be a consideration for sport very often. The Summit and Gold Label will still generally do what you make them do, but they have more dominant rounder shapes. Even if you get up the back of them, they still want to continue somewhat and keep climbing, while the Duo will absolutely stop and roll forward if you want it to. It's one of those balls that is better the better you are. The Gold Label is kind of a blend of the two. It's more length and response than the Summit, but it's not as long and sharp as the Duo. It's not Summit strong, but still stronger than the Duo. Rounder shape, but not quite Summit round. It will go slightly forward if you want it to, but not as forward as the Duo. It's the most user-friendly, I think, because while it doesn't react much like the OG Zen at all, it does fit that same very throwable jack-of-all-trades type of zone. It's smooth enough to be controllable, but sharp enough to hit and go through the pins well. It's long enough to keep you from having to fight it for length, but is firm and consistent enough that you won't have to worry about helping it finish. And it's in a good enough strength zone to put it in play on a wide number of typical conditions. The Summit and Duo are the two most different, or that's the combination I think has the least amount of overlap, but the Summit and Gold Label, or Duo and Gold Label, are great shape complements off each other. I have reviews up for all these balls if you want a deeper look, and all balls of course are available now. Down in the description are links to Bowler's Mart that will get these balls ordered for you, and of course don't forget my code Rosdahl10 to get 10% off your order at checkout at CoolWick. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.